Well, I made it to the bus. I'm on the bus. I'm heading down to Charlotte today to walk around and come along with me. Well, stick around to the very end also because I'm going to do a reading on Billy Graham, who, by the way, was one of Charlotte's famous residents. Here's a great French bakery, coffee place. You can get sandwiches, lots of pastry. And of course, the decorations are unbelievable. It's called Amelie's, and it's in Charlotte, North Carolina, downtown area on College Street. Well, I had a good time down here today in Charlotte, and beautiful day. Didn't get to film as much as I wanted to. Next time I'm going to go look for the train station, which is kind of a mystery for Charlotte. They say it's tucked way far away in a bad neighborhood, unsafe neighborhood. I'm going to check that out. And then I didn't get down to the bus station either. So next time I will do those things, and thanks for coming along. I'm reading from the book Just As I Am by Billy Graham, an autobiography. He was one of Charlotte's most famous residents, and not just that, he was born here, and they had a dairy farm. And so chapter 1 is down on the farm. Day after day, the tall, spar farmer leaned on the board fence, searched the sky for clouds. In front of him, rows of corn were stunted, brown for lack of rain. He shoved his hat back on his head, exposing a strip of white forehead above a sun-browned face. No rain meant no crops. His shoulders slumped. His feet shuffled up the hot, dusty path back to the farmhouse, where I watched from the open door. My heart sank as I read the concern on his weary face. That man was my dad. When I was a boy growing up, Park Road outside Charlotte, North Carolina, was little more than a rutted dirt lane cutting across acres of farmland. Our white-framed house with green trim sat back from the road and overlooked the sprawling pastures dotted with our family's dairy herd. Set against the tranquil backdrop of trees and low hills, there I was born on November 7th, 1918, 4 days before the armistice that ended World War I, and 1 year to the day after the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. I'm just going to skip around a little bit. For a child of the Roaring Twenties who reached adolescence in the depression of the early 30s, rural life probably offered the best of all worlds. A Scottish Presbyterian's believing in strict observance of the moral values, we stayed relatively uncontaminated by the Great Gatsby lifestyle of the flapper era, with its fast dancing and illegal drinking. And being farmers, we could manage to live off the land when the economy nosedived in 1929 stock market crash, even though my father lost his savings, $4,000, in the failed Farmers and Merchants Bank in Charlotte. In the Depression, our dairy farm barely survived when milk got down to 5 cents a quart after the stock market crash of 1929 and the bank holiday that President Franklin D. Roosevelt ordered in 1933 under the National Industrial Recovery Act. My father nearly went broke. At first, he was confident that his bank in Charlotte would reopen, but it did not. He couldn't even write a check to pay his bills. He had to start over from scratch. It took him months to recover from the blow. Let's see, what else? However, there were more important things to think about in my boyhood, North Carolina universe. It centered on the 300 acres inherited from my grandfather by my father and his brother Clyde, where they ran Graham Brothers Dairy. Father handled the business affairs and the farm itself, with Mother doing the bookkeeping. At our kitchen table, Uncle Clyde looked after the milk processing house. And it goes on, and there's so many good parts to this. Well, I haven't even gotten through half the book yet, and I've had it for like 3 or 4 years. But that's the way I read. I go from one book to another and never finish. But I thought some of this would be interesting, especially in these modern times. Great. I will continue reading in this book on and off during these blogs. But if you want to pick it up and read it yourself, again, Just As I Am by Billy Graham. Have a nice day. Talk to you soon.